Hello, hello, hello! This is Xenokiller of TAW coming at you with more TAW Team League Round 2 action. This match between Paveway from Team Hooder versus his opponent HoSTiLe from Team Volkor's Angels, taking place here on Crossfire. So we have our Zerg player Paveway in the red trunks in the bottom left-hand corner, and HoSTiLe, our Protoss player, in the top right-hand corner. Now, as I've mentioned previously, this map is quite big in terms of rush distance. So we can see that our Protoss player is throwing out an early pile, and we might see a fast expand, maybe some sort of forge fast expand, and we can definitely expect our Zerg player Paveway over here to be sure and grab his hatchery soon, usually on the 14 mark. So we'll see about that. He's going to float some overlords in the general direction of his opponent. Pretty good idea where he is. So we see the probe from HoSTiLe working his way down the map. He's going to see the overlord. Obviously he knows he's playing a Zerg player, not such a big deal. So he's going to get a scout off. He's going to see that. This is interesting. Our Zerg player has actually gone for gas first, which is an interesting build. Unfortunately, I'm not too familiar with Zerg builds to know exactly what that means, but he's going pool first with a spawning pool. So it sounds like he's going to go for Ling and Ling speed earlier rather than later. And our Protoss player is going Forge first, so we're going to look to see a Forge first fast expand, and now with this nice choke in this area here, he can cover that with a couple cannons, no problem, and pretty much wall off his base. So we should see our Protoss player maybe get up to 400 minerals and go down. We'll see what happens. He's got to hurry up, though, because this spawning pool is almost done. And if there are 6 Lings on the map, and our Protoss player hasn't built any gateways, it's going to be very difficult for him to fight that off. But we have 1 cannon going down, and it looks like he's going to, nope, not save up for a Nexus. Not sure what he's doing. Looks like he's throwing down 2 cannons. So we have 2 cannons building. We also have a queen coming out for our Zerg player. He's got an overlord parked over his natural expansion, and he's slowly working this overlord up. Going to try to keep an eye on our Protoss player. So we got 1 cannon finished, we got 2 cannons almost finished. Looks like he's actually trying to wall off his natural expansion. He's throwing down a gateway finally. Always good. So he's got really good control of this area. Like, the Lings can't get in there. There's just going to be a small space. So look to him to build even more buildings to try to complete this sort of wall off. Now we have the hatchery coming down from our Zerg player. He's working on Metabolic Boost, aka Ling Speed. Hasn't built any Lings yet, so maybe our Protoss player is a little bit more defensive than he needs to be under the circumstances. But then again, with no gateway units on the map, he would be in trouble if there was a little bit of a Ling push. So he is hiding his probe in the background so it doesn't lose, and we see 3 Lings on the map. So we'll see what happens when these 3 Lings beat these 3 cannons. I expect a little Zerg juice to be spread out on the map. So now we see a gateway and a cyber core coming down, and the Lings are just going to go, I don't want anything of that. Those cannons doing 20 damage a shot, I believe. Yep, 20 damage every second and a half. So I don't know, you added up how many DPS that is. So the Lings are like, alright, we're going to go back here and check out for any sort of shenanigans. But the rocks are not broken down just yet for that second pathway into the natural. Working on it, but it would take a lot of Lings a very long time to get into that base. So the hatchery is almost complete, and now he's hopping up to layer. And we have the second base coming down from HoSTiLe, so both players, you know, macroing up a little bit, choosing not to produce too many units. In fact, HoSTiLe is producing nothing out of this gateway in terms of units. He has literally nothing but probes, which, if he's not careful, could be disastrous. So our Zerg player's got 4 Lings on the map, 2 more in production. He's hopping up to lair. He's got that overlord up there. He's got Ling speed, but that's interesting. It looks like he decided not to block himself in. So now he took out the cannon. So HoSTiLe just kind of hanging out. Not really building too many units. We got another gateway coming down. We have Warp Gate being chrono boosted out. So we might see a little bit of delayed Expo 4-gate action. Maybe try to deal with this overlord who's sneaking around here. We got the two Lings here keeping an eye on things, and our Zerg player is just kind of hanging out, taking a second gas. He's got a spawning pool done. Not really teching up all that much. We haven't seen any additional buildings beyond, of course, creep tumors and hatcheries. Almost done there. Now you can see that one Ling is slowly but surely trying to make its way around and just be annoying. You see that Chrono Boost is almost done. This Ling is doing almost no damage. I mean, one Ling on its own does about 5 DPS. But you get enough of those things together, surround a unit, you're in trouble. Now you can see that Warp Gate is finished, the gates are opening up, and I imagine this Zergling is in deep, deep trouble. So we got 2 Stalkers being warped out. Go, baby, go! Kill that Ling! So now we've got 4 gates from our Protoss player and a bunch of cannons, which puts him in a wonderful position. And we can see that Paveway has snuck a hidden 3rd expansion to the bottom right-hand corner of the map. Pretty good way to go. He's also got very good map control. He's got 1 Xel'Naga tower. He's actually got both of the Xel'Naga towers. He's got an Overlord in the corner. He's got guys in this base here. So he's got very good map control. Our Protoss player is kind of stuck in his base, building pylons. In terms of income, we have... Actually, our Protoss player is a little bit... Wow, he's way behind. It's 34 to 52, but we should see with 2 bases he'll be able to catch up slowly but surely. But once that 3rd base comes online for our Zerg player, he's going to be in trouble. So a Spire coming down. And another hatchery. We have Lair finishing. We got pneumaticized carapace for our Overseers. So we're going to see some airplay. We got a Roach Warren out. Interesting. So now we see a robotics facility coming down for our Protoss player. He's got a couple Zealots out here for defense, but not too much else. So we're going to see we got weapons upgrade 1 coming from our Protoss player, and a whole bunch of roaches coming across the map. If you check a look at the army tab here, it's 24 to 20. 32, 36. Wow, our Zerg player is increasing. You can see he's building 9 roaches and 3 mutalisks, while our Protoss player, unbeknownst about the Spire on its way, is going into Colossus tech. So we're going to have Colossus versus Muta, which is not a very good combination for our Protoss player. You can see he's continuing to warp in Stalkers. I don't think he's got a Twilight Council out, so there won't be any blink on that, which will make it very difficult for them to deal with mutas. And he also hasn't built any observers yet, which will make it difficult. We see a couple roaches going down, nothing too crazy. We see a macro hatch coming up. Interesting choice. So now we see we've got Roach Muta, which is an interesting combination. Just hanging out here at the map. We've got a couple more Overlords. They've got the speed, so we might see them poop some creep out here. Maybe another expansion. The 3rd expansion for our Zerg player is picking up, so his macro advantage is increasing, slowly but surely. Oh no, we have a Changeling being dropped, so now we have a fake Zealot in the map going to run around. See that there's a robotic support bay there, and is going to kind of chuckle and build some more mutas. So we see the upgrades coming fast. We got flyer attacks. We got even more cannons being built by our poor Protoss player, which I would rather see him drop that into units, but I don't know, he's probably sick of all these Overlords overflying his base and seeing everything that he's doing. So I'd probably build a cannon or 2 also. So now you can see our Zerg player is going massive into droning. Another push, it's now 74 to 44. So our Protoss player is at a pretty steep disadvantage right now in terms of macro, and he's also behind in upgrades. Right now he's barely getting his 1-1 upgrades. Well, these mutas have... I thought the mutas had an upgrade. Nope. Mutas should have an upgrade soon. Anyway, so with no cannons in his main base, this is going to be... Ooh, it gets pooped on, I believe. I'm trying to remember what that's called. Contaminate. Yes, gets contaminated. Now the mutas are going to loot. We got about 2 cannons here, but they're obviously focusing... I should have focused on the pylons. You definitely want to focus on the pylons over the cannons, but these mutas are going to be able to basically run wild in our Protoss friend's base, out of the range of the cannons. Let's see how many probe kills he got. So far he's killed 6 probes, and is now working on the Stalkers as they blink in, warp in. So these mutas basically running unopposed. And in response to that, HoSTiLe's like, forget it, I'm going to go murder some people. So we have him valiantly trying to, but he's only warping 2 Stalkers at a time, not able to do much damage. And this Colossus coming out, the wrong unit you want to pop out at this point in the game. So now we see that our dear friend HoSTiLe is slowly but surely going to destroy the 3rd base for our Zerg player, but the mutas are running wild, and you can't really base trade against a 3-base Zerg player, because we can see his roaches are coming in, so basically he's going to pincer HoSTiLe's army. Right now he's working on that hatchery, trying to take it down, but right now his problem is right behind him with all of these roaches. Ooh, that's not good. So the Broodlings are going to come out, tying up these Zealots even more. Really want the Zealots in front, taking the damage from the roaches, while the Stalkers work from the back, firing at range, but unfortunately just too many roaches. So he lost his 3rd expansion, which is never good, but he was also able to do pretty massive damage to HoSTiLe's base. So right now the supply count is 46 to 148. You check the army supply tab, it's 69 to 9. So right now Paveway knows he's in a good position, and he's just going to start rolling, and he's got mutas, and he's just got a line of roaches and some overlords. I don't think there's anything in those, but you never know. So now you can see he's building, valiantly trying to build a gateway. Not gonna help him. He's only got 4 Stalkers on the map. So he needs units, and he needs units fast. So we're gonna see these roaches are going to pick off this Nexus, I guess. Ouch. So HoSTiLe a little bit stuck here. Well, they gave him a money boost, so he just needs to start warping in units like there's no tomorrow, which if he doesn't, there isn't going to be. So now we see Broodlords, Corruptors, excuse me, coming in. It looks so much similar. So we see Corruptors coming in. Nice air-to-air unit, but not going to be very effective. So now they're going to come around the back, break down these rocks, and work their way in. This Colossus, not going to do too much good, unfortunately. He doesn't see that his back rocks are about to be attacked. Actually, does he see that? Nope, he doesn't see that. He just sees some poor little rocks there. It's amazing how, yeah, map control not in the favor of our Protoss player. So these rocks are going to get busted down. We see the Broodlords. We see the Corruptors morphing into Broodlords, and these roaches are just going to come on in while there's an attack of Zerglings in the front. So now these Stalkers and these Colossus are going to try to pick off all of these units, but they're just going to have one heck of a time. The Colossus out of position in front, and in fact the Stalkers without Blink are stuck on the ramp and unable to really focus their fire in any meaningful way. You have the roaches in the main base surrounded, Broodlords firing down Broodlings and causing just tremendous amounts of damage. HoSTiLe knows that. Oh, the poor Colossus didn't even get a shot out. That's a rough one. So, roaches ruffle stomping our Protoss player. Alright, this is Xenokilla of TAW signing out. Thank you very much, and have a nice day.